The world was a hushed whisper of what it once was. Gone was the warmth of the sun. Gone was the vibrant symphony of colours. An eternal twilight had settled upon the land, blanketing everything in a sombre, greyish hue. The air was perpetually cold, a constant reminder of the sun's absence. The trees, once bursting with leaves of emerald and gold, now stood as skeletal silhouettes against the dim horizon. Their bare branches clawed at the sky as if in a desperate plea for the sun's return. The rivers, once sparkling with life and reflecting the sun's brilliance, now flowed sluggishly, their surfaces dark and uninviting. The creatures of this world had retreated into the shadows, their vibrant songs and playful chatter silenced. The world held its breath, trapped in an unending dusk. It was a world that had forgotten the feeling of warmth, the joy of light, the very essence of hope. And yet, somewhere in the heart of this desolate world, a single spark remained. A tiny flicker of hope, desperately clinging to existence. This spark, a beacon in the overwhelming darkness, resided within the tail of a small firefly named Lumo. Lumo was no ordinary firefly. He bore the weight of a dying world on his tiny shoulders, or rather in the gentle glow that emanated from his lower abdomen. This light was not the ordinary luminescence of his kind. This was a fragment of the sun itself, a tiny ember from a celestial fire that had long since faded. He had never known the sun's warmth on his face, never witnessed the dance of sunlight on water, never felt the sun's kiss on his wings. Yet deep within his soul, he carried the memory of light, a legacy passed down through generations of fireflies. This memory manifested as a deep-seated fear of the dark and a burning desire to see the world bathed in light once more. He spent his days hiding in the hollow of an ancient oak tree, his spark a pulsating beacon in the gloom. He yearned to share his light with the world, to chase away the shadows that clung to everything. But fear held him captive. Fear of the dark, vast and unforgiving. Fear of the unknown that lurked beyond the familiar shadows of his oak. One day, Lumo decided he couldn't bear the suffocating darkness any longer. He knew the legend of the Sky Mirror, a mystical portal said to hold the key to the sun's return. It was a dangerous journey, fraught with perils unknown. Yet Lumo knew he had to try. For himself, for the world, for the memory of light itself. Lumo hesitantly emerged from his tree hollow. The twilight world was eerily silent. The air felt heavy, laden with a perpetual chill. He took a deep breath, the spark in his tail flickering nervously, and set off into the gloom. He hadn't travelled far when he heard a soft rustle. He froze, his tiny heart pounding against his exoskeleton. A low, mournful hoot echoed through the stillness. Lumo turned slowly, his light illuminating a pair of large, unseeing eyes. "Who's there?" The voice was deep, laced with a weariness that spoke of endless nights. "It's just me," Lumo replied, his voice barely a whisper. He felt a pang of sympathy for the creature. He had his spark, a tiny sun to keep him company. This creature had only the unending darkness, a firefly. The owl tilted its head as if trying to make sense of the dim light. "It's been so long since I've seen one." "You can see?" Lumo was surprised. He knew of the stories, of creatures losing their sight in the perpetual dusk. The owl let out a dry, humorless chuckle. "Not anymore, little one. The darkness claimed my sight long ago." Lumo felt a surge of compassion for the owl. He inched closer, his light casting warm shadows on the owl's snow-white feathers. The owl flinched at the warmth, a long-forgotten sensation. "What's your name, little firefly?" the owl asked, its voice softer now. "Lumo," he replied. "I'm on a journey to find the Sky Mirror," the owl sighed. "The Sky Mirror, a legend, some say. But legends hold whispers of truth, don't they?" The owl paused, then continued. "There is a valley not far from here, where the wind never ceases to blow. Legend speaks of a spirit trapped within a bottle, a spirit who controls the very air we breathe. He might know the way." Lumo felt a flicker of hope. "Could you—" he began, then hesitated. "Could you guide me there?" The owl shifted slightly. "My world is darkness, little one. I cannot guide you." Lumo knew he couldn't ask for more, but then an idea struck him. He flew closer, his spark casting a warm glow around the owl's face. But what if... Lumo hesitated, unsure how to phrase it delicately. What if you could carry my light with you? The owl seemed taken aback. It had been so long since it had felt warmth, since it had experienced anything other than the suffocating darkness. Carry your light? Yes, Lumo pressed, his voice filled with newfound confidence. My light can be your eyes until we reach this valley. The owl hesitated, then dipped its head in agreement. Lumo carefully climbed onto the owl's back, nestling between its soft feathers. His light, brighter now with determination, bathed the owl's face in its warm glow. And so they began their journey, two unlikely companions united by a single spark of hope in a world shrouded in twilight. The owl, guided by Lumo's light, navigated the treacherous paths with surprising grace. The rustle of leaves beneath their feet was the only sound in the stillness. They eventually reached a clearing bathed in an eerie, ethereal glow. Giant mushrooms, their caps radiating a soft luminescence, dotted the landscape like celestial bodies scattered across a miniature sky. And in the center, nestled amongst the glowing fungi, was a sight that took Lumo's breath away.